Hi, this is Brian Terrian from the Fibromyalgia and Disability Digest here today, and I am putting together this video because of the misunderstanding and challenges that people that suffer from fibromyalgia have going through the disability approval process. I have this picture up on the screen because, some days you might feel like, this gal down here that's sipping the drink, but, later that day or the next day, you could have vicious discomfort like this person in the top right. So, how do you communicate that? What are the things to do to make it work? We've been helping individuals with fibromyalgia get approved for their disability since 2006. And originally we started when we started this business, it was the Disability Digest. And quick story is we started to notice a lot of our new members would put in the comments that they were suffering from fibromyalgia, which in the beginning, in like 2006, 2007, I couldn't even pronounce it. So, as a result of such an increase in individuals going through the disability process and having challenges with the disability process, we actually started the Fibromyalgia Digest, and it has its own subset of information to help people that have the specific needs to go through the disability approval process, has condition information and support information. So that's what happened with us as this whole thing escalated. And we've helped literally thousands of people get approved for disability. Like Gail, who was working full time as a paralegal, she used our course and got herself approved on her own on the initial application. Actually, she was still working when she filed. And there's other stories like that. So you have the opportunity from this video. There'll be links down below where you can learn from others. So, what I want to go through with you today are some of the top tips that we have learned in helping people get approved for their Social Security disability benefits with fibromyalgia. And what you're looking at right now is a tender point test, and I just put that graphic up here to start, and I'm going to work our way down to this. But Social Security actually has its own regulation for for fibromyalgia. And there's some key things in here, and this will be available at the bottom of this video as well, that are important for you to understand. You don't need to know all the legalese. I'm not a lawyer, and I don't. And we've helped people get approved. But the first one is you need to have a medically determinable impairment, an MDI. And that's when you read through here that what they are in essence saying is you need to have proof that you have fibromyalgia. Now, this mostly applies for people that this is their primary condition. This is the kingpin of evidence that you're going to produce. And so when that is the case and you are posed with all those questions like, can you actually get approved for disability? I look fine. Um, so yes, you can. The first part is you need to have it to be a medically determinable impairment. So that's the first one. So the next is your medical records need to support that you have, limits your functionality and that it precludes him or her from performing what is called sustained substantial gainful activity, which is Social Security lingo for work, meaning that your pain doesn't allow you to sit, stand. You've got challenges remembering repetitive tasks. Some of the common things with that. So to get this documented, a lot of people have challenges. We've met people that have had this condition for years and has been misdiagnosed, hasn't been diagnosed. So the key is to get into a rheumatologist and get them to diagnose it. If your general practitioner has diagnosed it, it's okay, but we've seen challenges with cases going through the disability system that if it's not diagnosed from a rheumatologist, it's not considered as credible as it would be if it's a specialist in that area, which is a rheumatologist. So my first tip, get a diagnosis from a rheumatologist. Make sure that they go through and complete this test that is on this page, this tender point test. Because the key things that you're going to want to have is documentation that you have widespread pain, which is right up here in number one, right? And then the next is at least 11 positive tender points on this examination. See diagram below. So if this is in your application when you apply for disability and somebody at Social Security gets it and actually reads it, they'll say, oh, wow, look at this. Somebody's actually gone through and they've got the right documentation to support it. Tip number one, rheumatologist, tender point test, get it clearly documented in there. Second thing is, most people that we have met going through the approval process with fibromyalgia, they have other conditions. Depression's very common. I mean, who would like to feel like they have the flu 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and not be depressed, not able to work, not feel good? So get all of your conditions diagnosed and treated. Okay? And if you think you have something and you're not quite sure, go get it checked out because you want to have other evidence. Well, you don't want to have. If you have other evidence that can support your application, it's going to make your case that much stronger. So do the very best you can. So the next tip that I have for you is to understand how to communicate your condition to Social Security through the process. And what you see here is a sink full of dishes. And one of the questions that we ask individuals to explain how they feel and what their limitations are like if they have fibromyalgia is what it would be like for you to wash a sink full of dishes for two people. This is the best photo I could find. It looks like it almost is, you know, some plates, cookware. So if you're a typical fibromyalgia sufferer and you're looking at this right here and you're going to do those dishes, so you're going to say, oh gosh, you know what? I'm going to do the plates. I'll wash those and then I'm going to go sit on the stool for a few minutes and I'll come back and then I'll do these cups and jar and maybe this bowl right here. Then it's going to hurt. So I'm going to go sit back down again. I'm going to come back and tackle the pots. So what you're communicating is what your limitations are, where most people run into challenges communicating their conditions. Say, I have fibromyalgia, it hurts like hell, and I can't do anything. Well, that's unfortunate, but it doesn't give somebody the understanding of your sit, stand limitations. All right. So then get your pitch down. There will be a link again at the bottom that will help you understand how to communicate your limitations. So please try to do what most people try to avoid. What most people do is stay away from communicating that you have a condition. It's the limitations that you need to prove. Next tip is if you're just starting the process, you're going to get forms from Social Security about what you can do on a daily basis. And what you want to do is keep in mind the limitations, the little quick lesson that I gave you when you're answering those forms. And you can contact us here, and we've got more details and videos on the forms. We can actually walk you through how to fill them out with the correct answers. But filling out the forms with the correct information that communicates your limitations is the next one. Last, learn from others. There's success stories that we have that are on our YouTube channel, that are on different parts of our website, but I just focus on the ones on the YouTube channel. where you can listen to other people that have been through the process and some of the tips that they have, even if they don't have fibromyalgia. There's things that you can pick up, like, for example, let's say that you're using a cane, and the cane is just something you bought down at the local drugstore, but you use it sometimes, not all the time. Well, okay, so that's not in your medical records, but it's a key piece of evidence. If it was prescribed by your doctor, which is a tip that we learned from one of our members, then it would be evidence that could be used in your case. All right. So those are the top tips: diagnosis from a rheumatologist, pain point test. Put all of that in your application. Stay in treatment. Get all your conditions diagnosed. Get your elevator pitch down for your, how long it takes you to do the sink full of dishes example. Fill out the forms right and learn from others. I hope you find this helpful. Love to have you subscribe for more videos. Just, do what you do here on the YouTube video, and then join us in the comments if you have questions. Absolutely. We'll do our best to do that. And we love to hear from those of you that, use our work here and get approved. That would be great. And if you like what we're doing, share it. So that's it for today. I hope you find this helpful. This has been Brian Terrian from the Fibromyalgia and Disability Digest. Make it a great day.